was ever any chance of giving her a break, he would remember her. He hunched forward and cut through the voices. "I have an idea." They all looked at him, hopefully. "Our biggest failure," he said in measured tones, "is the Countryside programme." Felicity Pearson, who produced it, let out a squawk of protest. "The ratings are lousy, Felicity," said Rory brutally. "For a start, it's all in Gaelic. Secondly, you have a lot of old fogies sitting at a desk, pontificating. We should start a new series, call it, say, Highland Life, and get someone hard-hitting and glamorous to present it. Start off by exploding this myth of the poor crofter." "They are poor now," protested Felicity. "Sheep prices are dreadful." Rory went on, as if she had not spoken. He said that although people did not like to live in the Highlands, they liked to see programmes about the area. With a glamorous presenter, with a good, hard, punchy line, they could make people sit up and take notice, and the more Rory remembered the blonde charms of the researcher, what was her name? Crystal French, that was it, the more convincing he became. At last, his idea was adopted. He retreated to his office and searched through his records until he found Crystal's Edinburgh phone number. After he had finished talking, Crystal put down the phone, her heart beating hard. This was the big break, and she meant to make the most of it. She would be glad to get out of Edinburgh, glad to get away from being a mere researcher. Researchers worked incredibly long hours and had to kowtow to the whims of every presenter. Who would have thought that a one-night stand with that fat little man would have paid such dividends? And she had just been coming around to the idea that a woman can't really sleep her way to the top. She did not realize that her past failure to move on had been because of her reputation for doing just that thing. There were a lot of women executives in broadcasting these days who had got to the top with hard work and brains, and did not look kindly on any of their sisters who were still trying the old-fashioned methods, so when her name had come up for promotion, there had always been some woman on the board who would make sure it was turned down flat. Rory, when he met her at the Strathbane station, was struck anew by her looks. Her long blonde hair floated about her shoulders, and her slim figure was clothed in a business suit, but with a short skirt to show off the beauty of her excellent legs. Her eyes were very large and green, almost hypnotic. Crystal kissed him warmly. She had no intention of going to bed with him again. He had done his bit. He was only head of features. If necessary, she would seduce one of his superiors. Hamish Macbeth did not watch much television, but he did read newspapers. He was intrigued to read that a new show called Highland Life was to start off with an investigation into village shops in the Highlands. He decided to watch it. He expected it to be a series of cosy interviews. The show was to go out at 10 o'clock that evening. He was about to settle down to watch it when there was a knock at the kitchen door. He opened it to find, with dismay, that he was being subjected to a visit from the Curry sisters. It had started to rain, and the sisters, who were twins, stood there with raindrops glistening on their identical plastic rain hats, identical glasses, and identical raincoats. "Our telly's on the blink," said Nessie, pushing past him. Jessie followed, taking off her plastic hat and shaking raindrops over the kitchen floor. "I was just going to bed," lied Hamish, but they hung up their coats and trotted off into his living room as if he had not spoken. Hamish sighed and followed them. The Curry sisters were unmarried, middle-aged ladies who ruled the parish. Jessie had an irritating habit of repeating everything. "We're here to see that new show," she said, switching on the television set. "Don't you have the remote control, "I need the exercise," said Hamish crossly. "A cup of tea would be grand," said Nessie. "I'll get tea during the ads," snapped Hamish. "Shh," admonished Nessie. "It's on." The presenter was walking down a village street. "That's Breaky," hissed Nessie, recognizing a nearby village. Crystal's well-modulated voice could be heard saying, "People deplore the decline of the village shops. The thing to ask yourself is, would you shop in one? Or do you motor to the nearest large town or supermarket? If you do, what are you missing?" "That's old Mrs. Maggie Harrison's shop she's going into," said Jessie. "Oh, look at Mrs. Harrison's face. It hasn't been rehearsed. She's fair dumbfounded." "We're here from Strathbane Television," Crystal was saying, "and we are just going to have a look on your shelves." She picked up a basket. "That skirt is hardly covering her bum," exclaimed Nessie. "What have we here?" Crystal held up a tin of beans.